I have the same title that you did. Lovely places. I want to kiss your eyelids, palest blue, paper thin, smallest veins, so delicate, warm, so that all you see is delightful, that I will learn to see the wonderful world with your eyes, your understanding. How I want to kiss your lips, compressed with fatigue, worry, yet so soft, so that they would meet mine, hold and linger, and perhaps part, our tongues slowly dancing, and long, long afterward, I would still feel the magic as I touch my lips in wonder with my fingers, remembering how you often said you never loved kissing until me. How I want to kiss your eyebrows, framing your beautiful face, which once looked at me with delight, happiness and contentment, the edges trailing into wisps, into smiles, delighted at the world, delighted at me. How I want to rub my cheek against yours, an act that once warmed your soul, that seemed unbelievable to you with its softness and warmth, the sharing of our need for tenderness. How I want to touch your arms, your soft, fuzzy arms that end with your capable, expressively loving hands, and marvel yet again that we love each other's arms, to see, to feel, to hold, and be held. To hear you say yet again, how did we find each other? I remember how you reached out to me with words and with your arms, and I responded. How I want to kiss your neck, almost at the nape, where tendrils of hair curl and waft, to come up behind you, arms enfolding you, an act that once warmed your soul, that seemed unbelievable to you with its wanting and giving. How I want to gently, oh so gently, gnaw at the top of your shoulder while you lean into me with the barest of sighs, an act that once warmed your body, that seemed unbelievable to you, and gently you pushed my shoulders downward. First things first, how I want you to want these things.
Thanks, Kathy. Next up, someone who enjoys hiking, Samantha Woolsey.
Thank you for having me. The first poem I'm going to read is called Coming and Staying. It is impossible to feel safe, secure, nurtured, or warm in the past. This is why coming into present moment is so monumental in creating this environment for yourself. Coming into present moment, recognizing what or who is around you is of utmost importance. It is what grounds and expands, provides exponential room for growth and change. It is possible to relax when coming into present moment. Now, why aren't we all here? The next one, I haven't titled yet. Hunger, poverty, suffering, need, desire, ego, experience. Seek to know. Humanity. Saying it out loud feels weird. Humanity, like it doesn't belong. Humanity, out of place. It rains, I watch it. Let the rain fall the way it does. Let the wet black cat do the way it does. What if instead of rain falling down, we believed it was love? Everyone would be outside when it rains. And the last one I'm going to read is called Parts of You. I think I love it as much as I hate it. I try to think of the words I'd say if we locked eyes again, probably high, but nothing else. Right now, I have to begin again, start over. This is done without you around. If we locked eyes again, tears would fall down my face because I love you. Even the angry, pessimistic, negative, controlling, abusive, dark, manipulative, fucked up you. I love that whenever I forget to love myself.
Thank you. Next up is a woman who enjoys composing haiku out in nature. Please welcome Tanya McDonald.
curlicue on the stage. Hello. Lilacs in bloom. My neighbor turns up. Don't fear the reaper. No, really, he did. Tin roof rain. The retired drummer taps his feet. Full moon rising. A Warren Zevon song on the radio. Ravel's Bolero. Our late night conversation. Northern Sun Cup. I confess my favorite Beatle is Ringo. Octopus's garden. The refrigerator starts to hum. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. Next up, someone who likes swinging in swings. Wow. Jordan Curbs.
Hello, this is my first poetry reading ever. Thank you. I'm pretty excited. Okay, all right. This goes out for love in general and keeping positive with it. Remember that night, the beginning of many nights, when the sun begins to fade, we begin to sway all night long, memory after memory of you and me. Seems like it was only you and me. Laughter would arise in me with you, starting low in the belly and rising up. Together we rise to the sky, unstoppable. Your dreams, my dreams, our dreams. How could anything ever get in our way? We fought when we did, we loved when we did. Our memories. First is a common word between us. Experiences were many, and many the first. How to give, how to share, how to care. How to struggle, how to fight, how to bear. But love between you and I is what made my heart grow. Sometimes it feels like it will overflow, gushing sorrow, sadness, loss. Somewhere deep inside, I know to love is to gain, to never love is to never know. We took that risk and went on a trip across a new world. Boundaries were broken, hearts were open. But as we sit across from each other, the hearts feel broken. As we look eye to eye and see eye to eye, how can we feel such a loss? The love we had wasn't a loss, but a gain to a new life. You will maintain and I will sustain. So in the end, how can we sit in anger and blame? But instead, my friend, let's start a new story where we honor each other's glory. Thank you. All right, and this is my second one. It's called Fear of Cake. Is it what holds us back? Make a pact, stick to that, never go back, never change, never grow, just so we know. Someone to grow old, never be bold, stick to the fold of life, the one we allow to be cut with a knife. Take away our strife, our inside light. How scary it is to be bright. So stick to the fold, allow to be sold, no warmth, always cold, no growth, only old. What does it take to stop being fake? It's only half-baked. So take that fake half-baked cake and put it on a plate. Watch it break, crystallize, and recreate. It's not ate, it wants to be fed, flourished with nourish, food of life. Don't let your cake rot in hate. Fight the knife, take the strife, be the light, live this life. That's my advice.
That was great. Keep coming. And those of you who've been here before know one of my special talents is mispronouncing names and calling people by the incorrect name. So correct me, please. Next up, we have someone who enjoys driving up to the mountains. Sumanta Chakrabarty.
Much like her, this is my first time actually reading out my own poem. It's called Open Your Eyes, Heart and Soul. I have a window with etched plexiglass panes in wooden frame with cracking white paint. Still matches the white walls to which it's recess. I try hard to keep the walls clean when they're stained. The window is shut tight. no locks or rusty bolts. Maybe the paint melted it shut last summer. Maybe the dust from stormy times. Or maybe the wet wood. Who knows? Maybe it's all of the above and more. When I do notice and muster up the energy, I strive hard to keep the walls clean. So when the Seattle sun by chance wakes, the white walls make my room bright. I strain away scrubbing the walls of stains, cobwebs, and dust. But time and again, this thought ricochets on the white walls. What is the point of a window if you cannot open it anymore? Why not care for the glass, the wooden frame? For winter, I could peg my coat over the window, couldn't I? I will do it today. Break the window to fresh air. And as much light even the most cloudy sky can afford. And as much life the wind could bring through the small window. And as much sky and stars my eyes could see, even with the weather's idiosyncrasies. I didn't know that we could read more than one, so I didn't get a printout on the lady over there. I don't know her name. Thank you for lending your this thing. This one is a little more melodious. I realized that melodious one would be just nice to balance it. So it's one of the love poems. So it goes like, "Come now, make us wait no more. Come on these lonesome. Sorry, let me start over. Come on these lonesome nights, fill my arms and kiss me yours. Heart pines with each sand and glass, tease me not with windy doors. Further down, where day slows down, cracking glass adorn old panes. See me, see you, reminisce this day. Come now to watch us dance. Come, live my score and four. Bring sleep that slipped my bed. Bring new memories like old smiles. Come now, all is done and said. Come, my darling, my dear sweet love. Bring my smile I left with yours. Come, too many seasons have passed. This hopeless romantic fool in prose." Thank you.
Thank you. Keep coming back. So our next reader likes finding pretty stones on the beach, and he must be the one responsible for snagging all the heart-shaped ones that I look for but never find. Please welcome Chris Jarvik.
Oh, thank you. I'll read a couple of short poem starters from my book. Poem starter 911. Later, they decided to cancel history. They might have learned something from it, but it made them look foolish and was far too embarrassing to endure. Poem starter 846. As plane screeches by, scraping air, ripping piece of sky, creating vibrating wave that rattles steel, shakes glass, rumbles earth, I taste blood. Poem starter 129. What if they declared a war and nobody came? Nobody fought, nobody argued. Would poets declare victory and disband? There's a full explanation in the book. Well, you could borrow the book and look at it. Retail sale. Sponsored by New Coke and Sambo's Restaurants, the We All Make Mistakes store had a ribbon-cutting ceremony at noon. There was a huge line of oil company executives, unemployed mortgage brokers, and Wall Street hacks that prevented me from buying any absolution or let's start over again tea. So I'll have to go back next week when they have their out-of-time, save-a-dime, blowout retail sale. And let's see, I think I will just read my, not a poem about a cat. No, 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 I will not succumb to the strange malady of writing a poem to a cat. Some I've seen have been sublime, some quite cute, but many stand with heart in sleeve, demanding to be petted, screeching, howling, mangy things, deeply sentimental. I will not add one to the pile, no. 2. Peace. The name of the cat was Peace. And it was a small mixed breed, playful thing, mostly black with artistically placed white markings, particularly one on the crown of its head that formed a V on its nose. My father disliked cats, but after several years of pleading, my sisters and I got our wish, and a kitten was brought into the house. I chose its name. Who didn't want peace? 3. Peace grew into a large and muscular feline brawling with neighborhood cats and sometimes even dogs. He excelled in bringing once feathered and rodent-related creatures to our front door in tribute to its keepers. The frequent bloodied corpse gifts, often greeted with disgust, taught everyone to look at where they stepped. 4. At times, Peace seemed to truly taunt my dad, rubbing against his leg, an act met with protest. "Stop that, I don't like you," Dad growled, but never did he kick. 5. Peace slept with me, and if he was not in my room when I closed the door at night, he would meow and scratch until I let him in. 6. When Peace was 4, I left home for good and barely spoke to my dad for several years. One phone call, he told me Peace had died. He would look for you, he said. Your old room is my office, and he would climb onto the desk, sniff at the books you collected, and he would meow at me as if asking where you were. He slept most nights on your old bed. 7. 30 years has passed, but I will not write a sentimental or cute tribute poem to my old friend. No, this poem is not that. This is written for Peace. Who wouldn't want that? Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Our next reader enjoys sleeping outdoors. I hope that doesn't mean he doesn't have an option. Please welcome Dean Chiquette.
So if I fall asleep up here, you have to wake me up. Ocean's End. On the horizon, the ocean's end, we view our history, our love spread out in peace. Here at the shore of that same ocean, we feel the violence of each wave struggling to come ashore. One cannot be the other or the other this, yet both are the same. Together we stand challenged. Even the sand below us runs out from us, causing us to sink slowly. We are captured yet free. As the swells come at us, we hold each other's hand and turn to view tearfully our love, adding to the ocean. Slave. I'm a slave to your portions. Portion them not. Let them like Niagara flow, endlessly, torrentially seeking the lowest place there, crashing against the rocks, the hard rocks that make everything splash, crash, bash, and bump and splash some more against nature's door, knocking and rocking across the fitterest places, disregarding past and future captured. With lightning flashes down there at the bottom, where after the smashing all sinks into silence, a soft silence. Excuse the shaking, it's a disorder. Flowing away slowly toward the next fall into your portions. I'll try to read this one if my eyes can shake with it. I sat. Once upon a chair I sat, thinking it would support me. It didn't. I did not trust the next 100 chairs on which I sat. But after that, I sat and sat and sat, and I did not think of that.
Thanks, Dean. Our next reader will have to tell us her favorite outdoor activity. She's someone I decided to misname Athena. Please welcome Dina Watson.
So I didn't write my favorite outdoor activity. There's a lot that I like to do outdoors. I suppose contemplate, because I like to go camping, I like to go hiking, but what I always like to do when I'm camping or hiking is contemplate, and so that would be it. So, let me see. So this is about painting. I enjoy painting with vibrant colors because that's the way life should be seen. I prefer to paint with light and dark contrasts because that's the way life really is, to me. A moment is both bittersweet. Life is marbled with good and bad. The two exist cohesively, folded into one another, inseparable. Light, dark, married and merged, like a business partnership or like cookie dough. Darling, wake up, darling. Take my hand in your hand, and let's run away from all that threatens what we have or what we share in. Wake up, and let us run. And then one last one. Oh, good earth, how you have been pierced. Please stop your bleeding for us. Please do not become utterly poured out by us. Everything, all that is still pure, is covered by our goods. How your purity has been marred by our hands. How we have pierced you, O good earth. So, thanks.
Thank you, Dino. Next up is Brendan McBreen, who pays attention outside.
Well, all my poems are short, and I have 3 of them today. And it's usually so crowded that you don't have much time to read more than this. But now that I have room for more, I didn't bring more. If you can't find your answers by listening to the wind, you are asking the wrong questions. It was only a matter of time, and it finally happened. We created a spill too big to clean. There were no animals around to drench themselves. So we took turns diving in, rolling in the sludge, waiting for the others to one by one pull us out and wash away our sin. Will the maker of all things step forward? There's someone here who would like to talk to you. He has a small problem with some of the defects and defectors associated with this life. Clovers in the field, daisies, a pile of rocks to climb. Benjamin Franklin said, "Little strokes fell great oaks." Why would anyone want to harm an oak? Acorns cry, lament the father's passing. Will the maker of all things please step forward? I'd like to exchange this winter for a cat named Peace. Preferably with short fur, easy to carry. Thanks.
Thanks, Brendan. Next up, we have someone who enjoys walking, Jim Teeters.
How conventional, my gosh. This is a participatory poem. So you have to like yell out nice and loud. How many of you have worked for a bureaucracy before? Any bureaucrats here? Okay. Or a large company where you had headquarters? Well, I did, and I was a licensor for this organization, for government organization, and memos would come down, and we wonder, what is that about? And then the boss would say, Orders from headquarters. So I want you to practice that. Ready? Orders from headquarters. Okay, here we go. Bundle all your dirty rags, empty trash in plastic bags, seal and guard all your borders. Why? Orders from headquarters. Make a list and get it done. Do not walk when you can run. Never tip railroad porters. Why? Orders from headquarters. Make 3 copies, burn the third. Speak loudly so you'll be heard. Clean all the paper sorters. Why? Orders from headquarters. Very good. Follow the chain of command. Loosen your underwear band. Attack with heavy mortars. Why? Orders from headquarters. If you are not quite certain, lock all doors and draw all curtains. Hallow the boss's orders. Why? Orders from hell. If you can't stop wasting time, eat 6 lemons and a lime. Fire the losers and the thwarters. Why? Orders from headquarters. Why? Orders from headquarters. All right, very good. Okay. In this job as a licenser, I was responsible for going around to homes and examining their child care centers in their home. And so I had to get directions from people. And this one woman gave me directions to her home, which were kind of convoluted, but very poetic. So I asked her, could I make a poem out of your directions? So these are the exact words of her directions, interspersed with apocalyptic comments. It's called Getting to Barbara Records' House. Head west on Meeker, go past the golf course and over the bridge, go straight at the light, go up Wreath Road to Military Road. There will be wars and rumors of wars, but still, that is not a sign of the end. There will be no mistaking the end. The sky will melt and the seas will boil. Turn right on Military Road, turn left, it's the first left, on South 254th Street. You'll see the Yorkshire sign. You'll be faced with a Y. These are uncertain times, murderous times, but the world has always been a murderous place. In the beginning, Cain slew Abel, wiping out 1/4 of the world's population. We never know which way to turn, so you'd better stay to the right, take the first left on South 253rd Street. My house is the 3rd house on the right side, 3424, right at the end. There were 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, and 140,000 standing on Mount Zion. And finally, you'll let me indulge in a 3rd poem. My mother was a very unusual woman. She died several years ago, but she was truly psychic. It's called Fortune Teller. My mother is not like other kids' moms. She tells fortunes. Yes, she writes with her eyes closed your future. If my sister and I lose a toy, a ball, she tells us right where to look. Pretty cool, except for the lost souls that darken our door looking for answers. One night, she wakes from a dream of a lost child, calls the cops to report it. They don't believe her until one comes up missing, and they call her back, suspicious and hopeful. I'm an adolescent. My mother is clairvoyant. Can she see what I'm doing in the back of my '46 Ford convertible tonight? Oh God, I pray, guard me from my mother's mindfulness. Thank you.
Next up is George Whale, whose favorite outdoor activity is breathing. Okay, George.
I don't intend to be here long, but if I don't sit down, I won't be here at all. I've been writing some simple things lately. It's called Those Were the Days. I remember my old friends and I sitting on the stoop on a hot summer's night. We talked away the time till it cooled off. Sometimes it didn't, but what the hell, that was New York. Finally tired, we went up to our apartments. In mine, with windows open wide, I just lay and sweat till the murmur of soft voices down there died, and then I slept. It's called September. And it's kind of, right now, it's anachronistic, but in September it'll be nice. September is leaving softly now. It's beginning soft, bright sun to warm the heart but cool the brow. September is leaving softly now. Its rains whisper to us that the winter comes, but softly, softly, softly. Oh, here we go. It's called Stone Appetite. Stone Appetit. I got to explain it. We had a little drill at our Striped Border Poets group, and the lady who was our, the hell is it, expediter? Facilitator that night. She brought in a bag of rocks, and we were to reach into the bag of rocks and pick one out and write a poem about it. So I pulled my rock out, and this poem was written. Oh, stone, you look so very like a bony bone that has supplied the meaty flavor of good minestrone. Perhaps you're really minestrone that petrified, and carbon dating, if done, could indicate that in the Jurassic age, it might be fair to deduce that on such and such a date, there were Italians there. Quanto bono, T-Rex minestrone, tastes like chicken, oh bone. Oh, stone, actually. And, excuse me, I have a corollary to that, and then I'll get down. You can see why I got the chair. Huh? This is entitled T-Rex versus Chicken Taste Controversy. How can T-Rex taste like chicken? Well, current scientific thought holds that dinosaurs are the ancestors of all the birds that fly today and all that have ever fought. Taste like chicken, why not? That rattlesnake and alligator tail and frog legs too also taste a lot like chicken leads me to construe that modern birds in all their herds descend from that reptilian crew that tastes like chicken, a lot like chicken, tastes like chicken do. Still, don't you think it's funny that chicken tastes a lot like bunny? Both are so delicious, it makes me quite suspicious. What gives?
Thank you, George. Birds and herds. Next up, we have Blaine and Kara. Blaine and Cat. Blaine and Cat. Okay, just Blaine, who needs to say a favorite outdoor activity.
Okay, well, me and Kat were dancing outside earlier to our iPods out in the field. That was fun. Kind of wore us out, but it was fun. I recommend it. All right, so I've got two, and they don't really have titles, so I guess we'll just go. God is hard to love. He is invisible like the wind, but blows trees and moves the earth. I want to be held in the wind like a cloud, to be clear and innocent and white. Summer is coming up like a freight train, and high school has me tied to the tracks. I need love, crazy, beautiful, puzzle-perfect love. Like the wind, no one knows it's there until it takes your breath away. Walk fast, face down to the dirt. Walk slow, face up to the heavens. Smile at the clouds, for you and them are alike, drifting, perfectly set, in God's arms. The wind is blowing for you. So this one has a little bit of a background. I just kind of wrote it today to give a little bit of a cleansing. It is about my aunt and my cousin. I found out yesterday that my aunt died of heroin overdose. So, yeah, this is a poem about her. She bends down and kisses him. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. A note by his head. I'm sorry, Mom. 1 step, 2 steps. Look back. That's your cue. Wake up. Her brain is screaming, stop me. Sleeping angel. He will never see her again. The needle is her baby, her life, and Tuesday, her death. A boy runs to me, fallen, can't get up, won't get up, gone.
Thank you, Blaine. Next up, welcome Kat, who I understand enjoys dancing outdoors.
My favorite thing to do is swim. And so this is a poem to the goddess of swimming. Ocean, ocean, ocean. Shore, inhale, crash. Eternally elastic, a ring of fire, quenched, broken, collapsed. The remnants, clean and cleared, to be collected as bits of sea glass, earth and fire, reflecting the colors of the sea. With hands made of waves, Mother Mulder, delicate and treacherous, forgives, accepts, concedes. Thank you.
Thank you. Some of you know that Michael Dillon Welch is the co-host here, and he's not here this week. So I decided I was going to read a poem because he usually reads one. This is not a poem of mine, however. And some of you, particularly the people in the Stripewater Poets and friends of mine, know that my brother died on May 11th, and some of my Facebook friends shared some poems with me, and this one was particularly touching to me because it kind of speaks to the fact that though time marches on, the human heart is forever, And it's by a woman poet, an Iranian woman poet in 600 AD, who she identified as a Layla. And it's called Lament for a Brother. What have we done to you, death, that you treat us so, with always another catch? One day, a warrior, the next, a head of state. Charmed by the loyal, you choose the best. Iniquitous, unequaling death, I would not complain if you were just, but you take the worthy, leaving the fools for us. 50 years among us, upholding rights, annulling wrongs, impatient death, could you not wait a little longer? He still would be here, and mine, a brother without a flaw. Peace be upon him, and spring rains water his tomb. But could you not wait a little longer, a little longer? You came too soon. And next up, our last reader of the evening, if there are no other takers, okay, is Dawn Marie Oliver, who enjoys watching a December aurora borealis from the hot tub. That sounds pretty sweet.
I also actually enjoy swimming and reading outdoors. I used to actually go camping every year with my family, and I would hike out to this Rocky Point place in Bemidji, Minnesota, and read for hours, just to get away from my family. This is an older one. It is called What Are Tori's Fascist Little Panties? And this is from a Tori Amos song called Precious Things, and the line is, tell me where those pretty girls are, those demigods with their 9-inch nails and little fascist panties tucked in the heart of every nice girl. And for various reasons, this came out. It is a prose poem. What are Tori's fascist little panties? Not those sleek, taut, cotton exercise panties that smooth over your mounds, the kind that say, these loins are girdled. Not those chaste white panties with little ribbon bows, a mere wisp of satin and lace, meant to be worn as a token or a sacrifice. Not those gag store G-strings, just a patch of cheap nylon and endless scratchy lace-trimmed elastic that rides up every crack and leaves welts where only a lover's kiss should be. Nor Heather's high priestess panties, practical, smooth black, nary a wrinkle nor a bow, instead a soft stripe of thong cut not to titillate, but to frame. Certainly not the completely impractical boy-cut swath of sheer seafoam lace surrounding my hips, revealing perfectly round globes. No, Tori's fascist little panties are those saggy, slightly droopy panties, the graying ones that even pedophiles would be hard-pressed to find attractive. The one fearful mothers buy for their budding daughters, hoping a drawerful of these will keep lusty thoughts at bay while keeping those budding curves hidden behind a swaddle of tiny blue nosegays tied with impossibly cheerful little bows. The kind that develops tiny holes along the seams, the prim elastic edge fraying, looping around the button fly in the wash, stretching and distending the cotton even more. The panties you're afraid you'll die wearing. Afraid you'll die knowing only the touch of thick, bunchy cotton, damp with sweat and longing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn Marie. I guess my favorite outdoor activity is probably searching the stars. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I'll keep on looking. I want to thank you all for being here tonight, especially our featured poet, Gerald McBreen, all of our open mic readers, and all of you wonderful listeners, the folks at SoulFood who make this possible. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month on the third Thursday, which is June 17th, for our regularly scheduled reading. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Not enough, and never too much. The woman looked just like a love. Rolling Stone gathered no moss, but leave a trail of busted stuff. I know she's gonna leave my broken heart behind her. I take what she's giving up, oh yeah. I know she's gonna